Today we're going to be looking at a newly released product from NuFinish. It's their ceramic spray coating. They claim over 100 washes, so if you say that the average person washes their car once a week, that's roughly 2 years of durability. It's quite a bit longer than what we normally see from the heavy hitters like Turtle Wax, Meguiar's, and Adams and so on. So we're going to definitely be taking a look at that. Here are the directions. You can pause if you need to read them. They recommend that you clay the car first, so we'll definitely be doing that with a synthetic clay bar. As you can see as I'm rinsing, the paint is clearly dead. Here I'm using the Mother synthetic clay. And still dead paint. I'm just going to apply this by spraying a couple sprays onto the panel and then a couple into the cloth. I'm just going to do a simple cross-hatch pattern on both sides. Now it does say that it wants me to let it dry for 5 minutes, but since I am in direct sunlight, it's going to be more like 2. The panel isn't hot, but it still is in direct sunlight, so I just didn't want to, fight insane streaks. It streaked decently bad, but it could have just been the fact that I was in direct sunlight. The bottle doesn't really mention anything about sunlight. So it is something to think about though. These are the first impressions of the water behavior. It's pretty good. It's not the most aggressive beater that I've ever seen, but it's certainly not terrible at all. It does really well whenever you flood the panel with a lot of water, and whenever I switch the pressure washer kind of sideways so that it's just a mist hitting it, it looks really great. It provides some really nice beading. I do want to reiterate that the bottle does say 5-minute cure time, so it is not harmful for the coating for it to get wet immediately after, at least according to the manufacturer. Here I took the tip off of the pressure washer gun and turned the pressure washer off, so it's just water coming through, and it does a really good job of getting the water off the panel, especially whenever I move really slow like this. Obviously this would be a lot better with a regular water hose, but it's still drying the panel really well, and this is exactly what you want. You don't want the water to sit on the car. And then the last little bit, again, I'm just holding the pressure washer sideways. I don't even think I had the pressure on. I was just looking to see how tight of beads we could really get with it. I decided to bring out the shop blower. It's one of the Ego blowers. I'm not really sure which one that it is. I would say that it's a pretty good blower, and it is not having the easiest of time drying this car. A lot of the water really likes to stick on, so I'm not really impressed with that. But yeah, I mean, it's not really a deal breaker. Now getting into the actual 100 wash test. Yes, this may seem kind of silly, but you may be surprised at the amount of products that couldn't pass this. Brian from Apex Detail, he's one of my favorite detailing YouTubers. You should definitely check him out. He does a ton of in-depth reviews on some products, and sometimes he'll do a 10 wash test, and some of them fail before they even reach the 10 washes. So if this does last 100 washes, that'll be pretty impressive. Whether it does or not last all 100 washes, it doesn't mean a ton in the real world. This test shows nothing in terms of chemical resistance, UV protection, etc., but it also doesn't mean that it's worthless information either. We'll be using Meguiar's Gold Glass as it's one of the most common soaps people use when washing their cars at home. Forgive me if I accidentally get the count wrong, I can't say that I've ever washed a hood 100 times in a row before. I'll also be trying to check on the water behavior roughly every 10 washes. Remember that beating's not everything, oftentimes sheeting is actually better. Also make sure that you subscribe if you haven't already and like and comment so YouTube will push us out more and we can reach a wider audience. If you're interested in seeing a chemical torture test or a comparison to another product, be sure that you leave a comment down below and we'll be getting on that as soon as possible. this is the result. It's still active, it's still beating water. No, not quite as aggressive as before, but I mean, it really wasn't the most aggressive beater in the first place. You can still see it sheets pretty nicely, and again, whenever I hold the pressure washer sideways, the beads really do show. Yeah, I would say overall I am really impressed with it so far. I can't remember how much that I paid for this. It was in the realm of $15 for the bottle. I would imagine that if it lands anywhere even close to 2 years, obviously, you know, that's an incredible buy. I don't think it would actually last that long, but we are going to be doing a long-term test on this vehicle. We're going to strip this and then reapply it. We'll probably be doing a video on that in the next week or so. So definitely stay tuned for that. Again, we'll also be doing a chemical torture test on this at some point. I am very eager to see how it lasts, just because, I mean, no, soap is not necessarily aggressive, but like I said before, there are certainly some sealants and coatings that die just from simple washes. So for it to last this well after 100, that's pretty impressive. But even though I am impressed with it, I can't say that I recommend it just yet, just simply for the fact that I don't know how long it's going to last. I didn't really do a full car. I don't know how the streaking is going to be, especially on a black vehicle in direct sunlight. I don't know any of those things just yet, so I can't really say that I recommend it. But in the short term, I'm definitely very happy with it. I'll certainly be doing some more tests with it on both my personal vehicles and some certain customer vehicles. Here's a nice close-up of the beads. Not that bad after 100 washes. Be sure that you look in the bio, subscribe, like, comment, all those things. It does help us tremendously whenever you do that. Thank you.